Even my cat knows the earth is flat. Ginger Sugarbush 905 presents a message to Math Powerland.
Hello, Flat Earth friends. This is Ginger Sugarbush 905. This video is directed to my fellow Canadian, Mr. Math Powerland. Math, I know you want to take an expedition across the Antarctic, but it's just not going to happen. And you know that, I know that. It's the powers that should not be will not allow it. But we've got a loophole. And if you're not named Math Powerland, and you have access to a boat, and you're willing to give this a shot, this video is also directed towards you. I've been following a gentleman by the name of Mr. Brian Clark. He just recently switched YouTube channel names from Brian Clark to Chippy the Chipmunk. It's something that I really cannot argue with, even though I'm more of a squirrel guy, but he has sped up his videos in order to get the content out that we can listen to faster as opposed to your average YouTube video. So that is definitely not a bad thing. And he has really figured out the whole Antarctic problem. All the credit goes to Brian Clark, or Chippy the Chipmunk, when it comes to this idea or suggestion that I'm going to throw at you. You, Mr. Math Powerland, or anybody else who has the means to attempt this. If we were to travel around the 56th parallel in the quote-unquote southern hemisphere, that trip would take a lot longer than if we were to take the same trip around the 56th parallel of the northern hemisphere. We are close, but we do not actually get into the protected area of Antarctica, and there's no land masses in the way, at least in the southern hemisphere. So it is definitely a great idea as far as how we can get around the Antarctic Treaty. The sped up voice definitely reminded me of Terrence and Phillip, some Canadian South Park celebrities, if you'll call them that. So that's why I have also sped this video up, as well as attempted to animate. But let's actually look at the video from Brian Clark, currently known as Chippy the Chipmunk.
I think I've discovered a way to do this so that there's no need to go and cross any land. It can all be done by one ship, and that is if you take a ship off the coast of South America, Terra del Fuego, and you position the ship off these islands here. This should be deep enough water here to start, or anywhere out here for that matter, but this, if you look down here, you'll see I am on the 56 degree southern parallel. And look here, nautical miles for ships. The radius from 90 degrees south. This, we are told, is 90 degrees south. So the radius of this circle is 2,048 miles is the radius. The circumference all the way around would be 12,125 approximate nautical miles if a ship were to sail around the 56th southern latitude. There are no islands in the way. I've checked. I've gone all the way around. There's nothing in the way. It's just nothing but water. There's the Heard Island. When I was trying to find the Hearst Island, it kept saying, "Don't you mean Heard Island?" We would just take a pleasure cruise. There's another little island. A couple other little ones. Pleasure cruise around the 56th degree southern latitude, or parallel, whatever you prefer. And look, it does not even touch any land at all. So why am I telling you this? Here. For one thing, if this here is 60 degrees south. You need permission from the Antarctic Treaty to cross anything below 60th degree latitude south. You need permission to cross into the Southern Ocean. Any water below 60 degrees is called the Southern Ocean. You must have permission to cross, to approach Antarctica and cross the 60th. However, if you stay on the 56th, there is no need for permission. We'll be well away. This is the 60th approximately here. We'd be well away from the 60th. So there's no need for any kind of special permission. It would just be a ship willing to travel 12,125 nautical miles approximately. And if we switch over to regular miles, that would be approximately 13,953 miles, with a radius of 2,357 miles from 90 degrees south. So this is it right here. If these flat earth maps are correct, they all show the southern latitudes are much greater around in distance. Look here, man, the 75th, for example. Look how far this distance would be all the way around on the 75th. However, look how short this distance would be around the 75th north. This is what Mr. Abizaid is trying to say right here. He's saying to take a journey around the South Circle and another around the North Center, and you will find it much shorter distance around the North Center, which proves that the North and the South are not the same shape as people claim. He also offers a proof, taking 5 ships. You can read that for yourself, but here it is. The 56th line is somewhere in here. You travel it around by ship, and I have a feeling that in reality it would be double, maybe triple this number here. Anyway, this is just a quick add-on to the other video I did. Actually, the 56th parallel would be just, I cannot see anything wrong with it. There's no obstructions. It would just take one sailing vessel and obviously good weather. Find a captain willing to do this journey. And by the way, if you look, isn't it interesting how most of the world is in the northern hemisphere? If we look at this map here, it is so densely populated up in this northern circle up in here. However, look how spread out it is. I think that is what is going on with this globe nonsense. That is why there's so few. Look at these large swaths of ocean in the south. It's because this is not how it is, man. This is the outer circle. That's why you see here on the map, it's much greater distances, so the countries are not all bunched together in the south, man, like they are in the north circle around here. So really all that is needed is an expedition around the 56th degree latitude, and we'll know if this map is correct. If the numbers are way off and way far, far greater around the 56th, we will know they've been lying to us. Let me pause it and draw a line on the 56th northern just to show you that the numbers are the same. Okay, here we go. I got it on the 56th degree northern parallel. If you look down here, it's saying from 90 degrees north, the North Pole here, the 56th parallel in the north is 2,356 miles approximately. Circumference 13,952. Once again, the reason I'm doing this is to show you on a perfect sphere that they show us from space. They've never shown us an oblate, pear, chubby spheroid, chubby below the equator. They told you that because they knew in the future someone would do an expedition around in the south, and then they'd already have a pre-prepared statement saying, well, we told you it was oblate and chubby and pear-shaped below the equator. So that's why your numbers are greater. Then, Neil deGrasse has already said it's pear-shaped and chubby below the equator, just to throw people off on an expedition down here. So there's no need to do one in the north, because look at the 56. You'd have to go all through Canada here. You'd have to go through the UK, Denmark we'd go through the tip of Sweden, Lithuania, Latvia, and then Russia. So you'd have to virtually traverse the entire distance of Russia. It'd be difficult to do on the 56th degree parallel above the equator, north of the equator, I should say. I'm not quite sure if we should still be using the word hemisphere anymore, as that depicts two halves of a sphere. So we're basically testing the globe here. So it's what I propose is basically the Abizaid, the John George Abizaid expedition. We basically take an expedition around the 56th southern parallel here. We would not have no need to cross over into the 60th, because you need special permission. Here's the 60th here. If you cross that, you need permission. All the water below the 60th is considered the Southern Ocean, and you just cannot cross over the 60th without permission. Anyway, the purpose of this was to propose an expedition on the 56th degree southern latitude or parallel. Just take a ship, find a captain willing to make the journey, start a crowdfunding or Kickstarter or whatever you call it. I'll kick in money for this, for sure, so we can find out. And it's not just the Abizaid map, I believe, is representative of a flat surface, stationary Earth, as it says in the title. So this, he did not, in 1920, he was able to triangulate airports and things of that nature to accurately figure out the exact placement of each continent. So they are just sort of written approximately where he believed they should be. And again, if we do the John George Abizaid expedition, as stated on the back of the map, we should find the distances around the southern circle to be far greater than the distances around the north center here. So that's what I'm proposing. I wanted to make something a little bit more detailed. Instead of the 33rd, I believe it would be much easier to take the 56, that's 56th parallel around, which actually would also be more beneficial, and we would see an even greater distance, proportionally greater, I believe, than the 33rd. Look here, 33rd here, right around here. You get this journey here compared to this journey here. But if we take the 56th journey, it's a greater distance here, all the way around the 56th parallel. I think I heard on an older Rob Skiba video that it took Cook nearly 3 years and 60,000 miles to circumnavigate around what he thought was Antarctica, but it may have just been the outer ice ring or ice wall, if you will. So that is a very simple way to prove, once and for all, and without even jumping through the 50,000 hoops of the Antarctic Treaty. So if we can prove that these distances are far, far greater than what the globe says they should be, I believe it would open up a lot of eyes. Far more people could not ignore that type of Evidence, incontrovertible evidence is what we are looking for here. No more speculation and endless debate. It's time to form an expedition using sextants and an astrolabe and whatever other measures to take to find the true mileage. And we will see once and for all what this is, if it's flat, circular, or a globe. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching. Here's the link to the original video. Ginger Sugarbush 905